Welcome back, SuperaTom fam, and as our Raiden Shogun release date is right around the corner, today I wanted to make a video sharing with you guys some of my top advice before you pull for her. This video is specifically aimed at free-to-play players because you guys are normally the ones who have to consider quite a lot before investing your hard-earned Primo Gems onto a banner. Now, I wouldn't call myself a free-to-play player because I, as a content creator, I do have to invest a bit into characters banners, but I do have free-to-play experience before this, so I know how important it is before you go investing into something. I know that since Baal is an Archon character, MiHoYo is going to try to make her as good as possible. However, as always, I'd still like to put out there some factual and transparent points of view, just so to help you make the best decision as possible. And so without further ado, let us jump into the video. First one, I know that many of you loves Baal and is planning to go all in on her with everything that you have got. But as much as you want your Raiden Shogun to be as strongly invested as possible, you still got to keep in mind all the upcoming banners coming after patch 2.1. Who knows, right? Yai Miko might be the one who's going to be up next, or moreover, reruns of the legendary Leeway trial during the patch after. So it's always best to plan out how much Primo Gems you'd want to spend on the banner. And if you're pulling for Baal, then I'm sending you my best wish of luck to get her early so that you can save your Primos. Now remember, she's an Archon character, and this is also her first banners as well, so I'm sure she'll have a rerun pretty soon. Who knows, she might be back before Christmas or latest at the start of next year. But rerun characters like Ganyu, Hu Tao or Xiao, if you miss them on their rerun this time, I don't think they'll be back for at least another year. Not to mention, I know that many of you have been waiting for characters like Xiao's rerun for so long now. So normally I know that you'll be pulling for her the moment her banners drops anyway, but to those who are still wondering about whether to pull for her, I always recommend wait till near the end of her banners and see if there are any leaks on potential upcoming reruns. I know that MiHoYo wouldn't like me to say this, but hey, it's all for your benefit. Secondly, speaking of simping for Baal, here's a question that I have seen that been asked a lot, and that is, many of you have been saying that you're sure that you have leftover Primo Gems after getting Baal, so you're wondering to go for her C1 or her weapon next. Now, this is a whole video topic on itself, and I'll make video testing that when she arrives. But if you're a free-to-play player in that getting Primo Gems is already hard enough, my answer to you is go for neither of them. There's absolutely no need for you to go for Constellation or weapons because that's just a waste of Primo Gems most of the time. And here's why. Personally, her C1 alone for free-to-play players isn't worth it because Baal on C0 is already very good. She'll dish out a ton of damage without getting to full resolve stacks. If you're going for Constellation, C2 is at least recommended. That's my personal opinion of course, but I don't see C1 being worth it for free-to-play players. Normally guys, 5-star characters at C0 is already super good. They're doing a ton of damage already. If you're not feeling you're hitting good enough damage on your 5-star characters, it's probably because your artifact stats isn't good enough. Most of my 5 stars don't have any constellations and they're doing extremely well already. Apart from my Kuching, who's at C4 because she just loves me. She always comes out whenever I lose this a 50-50. So I'm sure C0 Baal is going to do insanely amazing as well. As for weapons, I never recommend free-to-play players going for weapon banners because they are a pain in the ass. Even with the pity system, and thank god that we have at least a pity system now, it's still very bad for free-to-play players. You need at least a maximum of 3 5-star before hitting pity. Imagine how much Primo Gems you're blowing on that. Also, more of a reason why I don't suggest going for a weapon is because Baal has access to R5 catch, and I have to say MiHoYo this time around is pretty generous with this because this thing is an absolute beast on Raiden Shogun. So as F2P, you wouldn't really want to leave this weapon untouched and waste your Primos trying to get 5-star weapon. And And thirdly, you should consider her element and playstyle as well. Now, we all know that she's an Electro character, and as an Electro main myself, I just love Electro element as a whole no matter what's been going on with the element itself. However, if we are to look at the facts of number and statistics, then compared to other elements, Electro reactions isn't as good. So if you're looking into dealing damage the most through reactions, then obviously Electro would be the first choice. That said, it's only reactions. Electro characters on the other hand are really good. The characters themselves can deal a ton of damage, and I'm sure that will be the case for Baal as well. Now, if you're on free-to-play players and you're seeing that you're having quite a lot of Electro characters already and you need different element characters on your team, then that's something to consider if it's worth getting her at this time. Also, speaking of her playstyle, as I've mentioned a lot in my past Baal's video, you can build her however you like. However, her true role will not be as a main DPS in any case, because as we've known, she's got almost no scaling on her normal attack. She doesn't fit well as a support also, because her E skill, though have 100% uptime, the damage output I'm sure won't be that good either, so it's only down to her burst. That's where she will deal all of her damage. Therefore, you will only pull out the best of her potential in a switch team. And if you're going to be going into Abyss floor 12 and trying to get all those stars, then I would recommend running her in switch team as well. However, there's something about switch team that you should know, is that it will be very resource heavy, meaning all 4 of your characters in the team should be decently built, because you'll be dealing damage across all of your team members and not just one main DPS character. Therefore, you have to spare a lot of your resources on building your switch team. So those are some of the main points I would like to discuss about Raiden Shogun's after making quite a lot of videos on pre-analyzing her skills and stats. If after all this and you're still planning to pull for her anyway, then you may want to check out the top 10 best team to build around Raiden Shogun, or if you're interested in building her as a main DPS as well, I've got you covered on that too. If you found the video helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will be going through a lot of Baal's testing videos once she arrives. Now with that, this is Tom wishing everyone a super day.